Welcome to the June 28th open board session. Would everybody please stand and do the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. Thank you. Next, we have the Executive General Manager report.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and members who are watching on TV or on YouTube. Today's events are actually some quick updates on events. July 4th is upon us. We have, as you may or may not know, if you haven't been paying attention to Good Day Sun Lakes, the website, there is a 4th of July buffet from 11 to 1:30 p.m. You have a choice of a hamburger, hot dog, or chicken sandwich, and then it will be served with a side of coleslaw and chips. The price is $15 plus tax and gratuity. Now, if you want to come early on July 4th, you're hungry and you're just waiting for the events to start, you can go by the Sandwich or the front entry here at the main clubhouse between 8 and 10 and pick up a breakfast burrito. You have a sausage breakfast burrito, or for those who are anti-meat, a veggie breakfast burrito. Those will be available for you. There is a pitch, putt, and party event that will also occur on July 4th at 3 p.m. So a lot of fun stuff is happening on July 4th. Beginning July 7th, we will be doing poolside service. You'll see these flyers pop up and some information on Good Day Sun Lakes. The service will be done Friday and Saturday from 11:30 to 2:30. So as you're catching the rays outside at the pool, freely you can order food or drink and have it delivered to you at the pool. You don't have to get up, come inside. You don't have to leave the pool. So look for that to start July 7th. Now on to regular business. We're going to be returning to the management reports. So during COVID and prior to COVID, I would always issue a monthly report that provided information on what's happening with management. And we kind of pivoted toward Good Day Sun Lakes and doing that information on Good Day Sun Lakes. So beginning this month, and Jason's already been handing this out at committee meetings, and this will be then posted online, and going forward, there will be a monthly report that comes from management. And these monthly reports will include department narratives, as we've done in the past, updates on projects and initiatives, what management's working on, financial data, and statistics. And so the May one will be posted after this meeting by Hernan, and then the June one will have more information, so look for that online. One of the other things that we're going to be doing is during these my report updates, I'm also going to have staff come in to give updates on what's happening with some projects. Every month there will be a different staff member. But for this month I have Mark Schleid, and he's going to give you an update on some of the projects we're working on right now. So Mark.
Hello, everyone. Everybody hear me okay? All right. In front of my plate, we've got a few items occurring as we speak. First and foremost are the fountains at Gate 1, entry and exit. We're still lacking one pump on the exit side, and that's pump number 3. That's been ordered for replacement. Once that is complete, and I'm hoping within the next 2 weeks, we will complete Gate 1. We will then procure bids for Gate 2, for the entry and exits at Gate 2. So that is the update on fountains. There's a new ice machine that will be installed at the main clubhouse pool area. The pad has been poured, the water has been run, and the power is in place. The ice machine will be set tomorrow. The billiards room, the tables were removed today. There will be some minor painting occurring tomorrow. Carpet will be installed in the billiards room on July 5th, and the new tables will be installed on the 11th. Road work upcoming. AEC, the consultant that Sun Lakes has used, has sent out an RFP. Bids will be received here on site July 5th at 2 p.m. Once those bids are received, the board will make a decision on the vendor. Then we will contact the vendor and put together a schedule. Hoping late August, early September. And really, District 7 is the one that's going to be most impacted this year for road work. Stop signs. The board did approve the purchase of 100 stop signs, 50 speed limit signs. Spoke with the vendor today. We're probably about 2 weeks out. We also spoke with the safety committee, so we're asking them to do some research and see where we'd like to put additional stop signs and speed limit signs throughout the committee. So we'll wait to hear back from them. South Clubhouse dehumidifier. That's the indoor pool. Still on schedule for late August, early September for the install of that. That will be followed up with some flooring, painting, and the replastering of the spa. Curb painting. That's the red, white, blue, and green we see on curbs. That's going to occur tomorrow at the main clubhouse parking lot from one end to the other. They will be starting at 6 a.m. Tonight, Securitas will close off the areas that are going to be affected. So there's plenty of parking to be had, but that will be occurring tomorrow throughout the day. South Clubhouse, we've installed the automatic shades in the gym area, so that is up and complete. The roofing on the main clubhouse is now complete. Any questions for myself? Perfect. Have a great afternoon.
Now we'll move on to Jason providing an update on executive session actions.
Thank you, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. This report will give the community an update of actions that were taken by the board at their executive session meetings that were held on June 14th, June 19th, and June 28th, at which time member discipline, litigation, and formation of contracts and personnel matters were discussed. With member matters, the board reviewed one show cause hearing, the board reviewed 3 appeals to the Master Architectural Committee, the board reviewed 2 appeals to the Safety Committee, the board reviewed 1 member request for a fee waiver, the board approved the F&B and golf receivables as of May 31st, 2023, as well as the assessment account receivables as of May 31st, 2023. Board approved the May 31st delinquency report. The board reviewed a member request for a golf refund. The board met with members of the Master Plan Initiative. The board reviewed a few letters from members. The board met with the committee chairs to discuss committee charters and actions of the committees. The board met with the chair of the FAC. The board approved the Dog Park Ad Hoc Committee report to be put on the website under current projects. The board reviewed a request from the RV Lot Advisory Committee. The board reviewed a request from a member. The board discussed questions from the FAC, and the board reviewed several committee mission statements. With legal, the board approved the executive session minutes from May 10th, May 24th, and June 14th. The board received a number of updates from legal counsel, and the board approved the investment transaction report. With formation of contracts, the board received updates from the management company on several items. The board discussed 2024 budget directives. The board brainstormed with management on cost savings and revenue increasing ideas. The board discussed management services. The board approved to work with the Sequoia Group Consulting on renegotiating the FSR contract. The board received and filed the cash activity report. The board reviewed and approved the May and June narrative and analytic reports from Securitas. This narrative will be put on the website. The board met and received updates from Bing Designs and PAC Designs regarding the lounge expansion and Sandwich. The board approved sending the bids of the bocce court shade structures to the procurement committee for their recommendations. The board approved to move forward with American Eagle on redoing the Sandwich bar to turn it into a functional bar. The board approved moving forward with PAC Designs to work with Bing Designs on creating documents to submit plans to the city once approved for the lounge expansion. The board approved the use of a few new vendors. The board tabled setting a date for a special election on CC&R amendment. The board approved mirrored and frame as well as a couple pictures and metal art for the ballroom. The board has approved working with Morongo on setting up a shuttle service on Mondays from Sun Lakes to Morongo and back. The board approved the installation of divider gates at the pickleball courts. And finally, the board approved to send the draft rules and regulations to legal to review prior to coming to the community for a 60-day reading. And that concludes executive session actions.
I was dropping the mic for you there, Jay. A Morongo shuttle update. So this item, we had hoped to have a representative here, and you might be asking, well, what does that entail? The board initiated a conversation to better the relationship with Morongo and to provide shuttle service to the casino and back for Sun Lake's residents. Right now, it's in the early stages. It's a conversation. Is this something that Morongo could do? This is something that would serve the membership here and only be for members. And so right now, it's in the early stages. We hope to have a representative from Morongo come and provide a presentation to the community.
Thank you. And the good thing is, it's free. Next, sub-associations. Lakeside. Thank you. Lakeside 2 or Fairway Villas. Next is Delegate Assembly.
Dolores, you need to stay in that location, though, so you can be on camera. Thank you.
Hi, can you see me? Okay, Dolores Doherty, Delegate for District 4, Vice Chair of the Delegate Assembly Committee, and I don't have a whole lot to report, but I do want to give an update on Joe Farmino, our chairman. I just spoke with him yesterday, and he's still not home. He said that he did not realize how weak he is, and he's having a hard time getting back to walking. So all of you can keep him in your prayers. That would be awesome so that he can get home, because I know he's very anxious to be out of that place. He had his daughter bring him Kentucky Fried Chicken for dinner last night. So with that said, I'm not going to say a whole lot about the different committees, because a lot of these committees are represented here and will probably have something to say. But I will mention for a lot of you have heard about all of the animals that are being killed by the coyotes. I have 2 residents in my district alone on Pine Valley whose animals were killed by coyotes, and I keep it posted in my newsletter every month. I know that EPAP always has postings that they do. They mention it in the Lifestyle magazine, so I don't know what else people can do, but just to warn you, it's serious. Don't think it will not happen to one of your animals, because it only takes seconds. One of my neighbors said she heard everything, and nobody wants to hear that about their animals. So please remember to take care of your animals, and don't let them out unattended, especially if you live on the golf course. Thank you.
Thank you. Past action report.
Dolores, delegate is dark in July, right? Yes. Okay.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jim Corrigan. I live in Lakeside community, and I'm on the district board there, and I'm also on the Past Action Group Executive Board Committee. And I just would like to give a little update to the town hall meeting we had last Sunday, June 25th. We had about 145, 150 people in attendance, one of which was the newly elected County of Riverside Board Supervisor Eckstein Gutierrez. And he showed his support for us as he has in the past. And we had Andy open the town hall session. Randy. And Diane Burley followed up with a legal update discussing that the judge that we had been changed to a new judge, Harold Hopp. And that's for the November, I believe, 17th?
Yes.
Court date that we're assigned. No new news on that being shortened. It's still slated for November. And Diane mentioned that Harold Hopp is been known, had done a little research, that being a fair and a exacting judge, which was the similar attributes we saw with the previous judge. So I was happy to hear that from Diane, because I thought the previous judge was going to be a good judge. There was a community thanks to Dory And for helping us with the recycling program, Gretzky. Yes. And thank you very much, thank you very much. And we're all really grateful for all the work you're doing for that. Let's see, we also mentioned that we're going to have a little event at the July 29th, Music Under the Stars. We're going to have an attention getter. It's not going to be a fundraiser. We're going to have a dessert table out, for donations for everybody enjoying the music and their dinners. And we'll have a little t-shirt sales. We got a new design, and it includes a truck frontage with a slash through it, and our traffic is your traffic, so these t-shirts can be worn out of the community, to kind of show that where you stand with the warehouse. We'll have a little game and some prizes available as well, so thank you.
Thank you very much. I would personally like to thank Randy and all of the members of the Pass Action Group for the job that they've been doing in the past year and a half, because this is the most critical thing facing us here at Sun Lakes, as you're probably well aware of. And they've done an outstanding job organizing and fighting this matter. And they're almost at the finish line. They only need about another $40,000 to guarantee that they can financially deal with any appeals or any other problems that may present themselves. So I would like to personally thank him, and also, if you can afford it, make an additional, I know I'm going to make an additional commitment to them, and thank you very much for everything that you guys have been doing.
Yeah, Bob, thank you for
Thank you,
that,
Bob.
and I will be making a donation as well.
Thank you, Lori. So we're almost there. Another 40, and we're complete, and we can handle any type of appeal or any other problem which may be presenting itself in the future.
And for those of you who can't afford it, that's where Dory comes in.
That's
So please take recyclables over to her, and she's in the phone book, and she will help raise, because she's raised thousands of dollars doing this.
So if you can drink, you can help out.
That doesn't apply.
As Dory says, if you can drink it, she can recycle it.
Next is the community ambassador.
Good afternoon. My name is Beverly Rashid. First, I'd like to call your attention to the screen, because I want to encourage all of our residents to participate in the survey for the downtown revitalization of Banning. And it's really important because we, as I know from Facebook, we have a lot to say about what happens downtown and what Banning looks like. We have the opportunity with our size and our numbers to affect that and to make that big change. I did pass on some material on place development that a friend of mine who is a city planner back east sent me, that I have passed on to them for training for them so that they can expand beyond just the physical part of it, but get into the community building part of it too. So please make a note and notice that it's over on July 3rd. I know that, by the way, communities awareness, I know she's going to make an announcement probably, because on August 1st you'll have the speaker from the Public Works to come in and talk about the plans for downtown. Okay, June was an active month. I've become a member of the Banning Stakeholders Group. It's called SAG, and I was invited to be a part of that by the Community Development Director to, as they're moving toward the development of downtown. As a result of that, I'm now a part of SCAG, which is the Southern California Community Group. So that's mostly staff people from around the various cities, but it's interesting that I can at least get to know, and I'm in the loop on what's going on in Southern California, and can share that with you. I've connected with the ambassador for the Banning Chamber of Commerce, the community representative with the Banning Unified School District, and the communications manager for the city of Banning. And they're being very helpful to me to come up with ways that we can be more involved in the city and have a bigger presence and be more visible with all our contributions to the city. Finally, without going into any detail, I have to say, I don't know how many of you saw the city council last night, but it was not the most perfect experience. But I've also had, I've had to admit that my work with city council is a bit complicated without going into all the details. We have some situations that are making it a little bit less comfortable as we try to work together to resolve our issues and to make sure that we get the support we need, particularly around the warehouse. Thank you.
Thank you. Bingo advisory? Common area?
Mr. President, I do have a report from Common Area. Oh,
Bingo's coming.
in. Go. Sorry, Tony.
You're not used to me being here. Good afternoon to our Master Board members and First Service Management members. I'm Tony Sudam, co-chairman with Karen Royer for our Bingo Advisory Committee. There are 7 members on our committee, and I'd like to thank the 6 other women on this committee for their dedication to serve on this committee for 3.5 years. I think you'll have to agree, that's a great commitment to work on every Tuesday night for this event. A couple of us have served since 2015 when this committee was first established by the Master Board. We are committed to provide entertainment and social activity for our residents and guests on Tuesday nights. These events are very popular with Sun Lake residents. Our attendance averages 200 guests per night. Last night we had 219 attend. We open at 4:30 and games begin promptly at 6. We play 15 games and we strive to be done by 8:45. I want to give kudos to our restaurant staff, and Thomas and Chef Chris and their staff have been very accommodating, providing a different entree every week for us, in addition to the lounge and bar service being available. These services provide extra funding for the restaurant. I am so happy to tell you that bingo sessions run very smoothly, and we're very proud of that. Also, I'd like to invite each and every board member to stop by and see how we operate and see how smoothly things run.
Thank you very much. Next, we have a written report from Common Area.
Thank you, Mr. President. This is my written report from the Common Area Advisory Committee for June, since I won't be able to attend the open session board meeting. Artistic maintenance and janitorial staff continue to keep the common grounds and the facility looking great. Major outside work going on right now is the trimming of the palm trees and rose bushes, as well as keeping the slopes from getting overgrown. We always find some minor issue that need attention during our monthly inspections, but they are normally resolved shortly after our monthly meeting. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to give this report.
Thank you. EPAP?
Good afternoon. I'm Candace Jenkins with the executive team in EPAP. We will be holding our annual drill this year on October 19th. We will coordinate it again with the California Shakeout. We are slowly rebuilding EPAP, but still have much to do. The monthly radio reports show that we are increasing the numbers of EPAP coordinators that are checking in. However, we have 3 districts that have not checked in even once this year. These districts and all the districts are struggling to find residents that are willing to volunteer. From the perspective of EPAP, this means that in an emergent event, we will not have anyone trained to check on the residents in those districts. We will also not have communication with our EOC. The EOC is the vital link between Sun Lakes and the outside, excuse me, and the outside world, and the help that we will need to get. The mission of EPAP is to have an army of trained volunteers that help to minimize the panic and chaos that will be created. This is accomplished by learning and following the recommended CERT class, which is Community Emergency Response Team. This plan organizes the volunteers into groups with specific tasks. These tasks ensure that the residents are checked on as swiftly as possible. With the reluctance that the community is demonstrating to volunteer, we will not have the coordinated, organized effort that it will take to safeguard this community. We are asking all of the residents to consider volunteering for one of the many positions that we have open in EPAP. Thank you.
Thank you. Finance Advisory Committee?
Good evening, everybody. My name is Don Day. I'm Chair of the Finance Advisory Committee. One thing I'd like to share with everybody, we posted a video on Good Day Sun Lakes as well as Channel 97 giving an update on the FACT Committee and a request for some assistance from residents. We're an important, all the committees are important. We're also important to the board in supplying valuable information and recommendations as we support the board. Although the FACT is an advisory committee, we feel a fiduciary responsibility regardless of the project at hand. I was asked to share the FACT's position on one topic. At a March open meeting, Randy stated that an RFP would be generated for a new management contract. The committee felt that it was important to stress the need to acquire competitive proposals from outside management companies with experience in managing HOAs similar to Sun Lakes. This would supply the board with competitive costs to ensure that we're receiving the most favorable bids. This is a standard procedure when negotiating new contracts. And in addition, the board has previously adopted competitive bidding as a practice as seen in the bidding of other major contracts such as security and our landscaping contracts. On June 1st, the entire FACT committee submitted a recommendation to the board that competitive proposals should be obtained and negotiated along with any proposals from our present contractor. On June 14th, the board gave the team permission to obtain preliminary management proposals from management companies with a proven track record of managing HOAs similar to Sun Lakes. And at our last open FACT meeting last week, with Lori and Beverly present, we read an outline of scope of work that was sent to Randy on April 3rd and approved. It was a two-phase scope, which would bring the Procurement Advisory Committee into the team after proposals had been received. We've already experienced many qualified management companies are interested in supplying proposals to Sun Lakes. In summary, the committee doesn't believe a single source negotiation is in the best interest, and we look forward to receiving and completing the process of competitive proposals. Relative to the remaining portion of the agenda, it is budget season coming up, and the FACT committee is very interested in taking a look at what the board and what management feels is the direction for 2024. And we look forward to getting into, hopefully after the first draft is put together, and making recommendations to help facilitate the 2024 budget preparation. As far as subcommittees, our reserve and investment subcommittees is working on a new tool that is designed to track projects, budget projects for reserve spending, as well as the cost associated with funding those. And we've requested a meeting with the board on January 21st to review that tool and see if it's something that the board would like to implement. We'll also be looking at a charter update going forward as requested by the board. Thank you very much.
Next is Golf Advisory Committee.
Good afternoon. I'm Mike Callahan, Chairman of the Golf Advisory Committee. The GAC would like to thank Mark Birchfield and the maintenance crew for the outstanding condition of the championship course during Charity Week. Mark is a well-respected superintendent of golf within the golf community and has connections with contractors throughout Southern California that have been very helpful in renovating our golf courses. During Charity Week, the condition of the course made a great impression on the visiting pros. We had at least 5 pros comment that our POA greens were the best they've ever seen in Southern California. Hopefully, every golfer at Sun Lakes has taken the opportunity to get out on the course in the past month and experience the excellent conditions. So thank you to the Master Board for approving the overtime to present the course in its best condition during Charity Week. Golf maintenance worked really hard, putting in many man-hours to complete all the detail work. The GAC hopes the presentation and appearance of our golf courses is something that is valued by all Sun Lakers. For many visitors and prospective home buyers, our community, the view of the golf course is the first thing they see and can make a big first impression. So whether you're a golfer or not, the beauty of these landscape grounds provide a valuable feature that similar communities in the area do not have. The ability to have golf courses and grounds we are all proud of is only limited by the level of maintenance and staffing we support. The role of the GAC is not only to advise the Master Board regarding issues of safety, maintenance, and playability of Sun Lake's 2 golf courses, but also to guide support in maintaining the value of these assets for the benefit of all homeowners. I have one final note to pass along from Doug Swenson, who couldn't be here this afternoon. We are going to restart golf course tours on Wednesday, July 19th, Thursday, July 27th, Wednesday, August 16th, and Thursday, August 24th. The tours will start at 3 p.m. from the main pro shop and last about 2 hours. Sign-up sheet will be in the pro shop, and tours are limited to 15. These were paused during the COVID pandemic, and the Master Board feels it's important, especially for our newer residents, to provide an introduction to golf activities here at Sun Lakes.
Thank you very much. Library, Linda?
Hello, everyone. I'm Linda Taylor with the Library Committee. We have 3 important announcements to make this month. On Tuesday, when you get your breakfast burrito, then come into the fireplace room and get some books. We're having a book sale all day, well, from 9 to 2 on Tuesday. We'll be in the fireplace room and on the veranda, and we'll be selling books and puzzles for only $2 a bag. So come and find some bargains. All proceeds go towards purchase of books for our 4 libraries. Second, speaking of new books, we just bought a lot of mystery and romance paperbacks for the South Clubhouse. That library badly needed a refresh. So the books have been processed, they're on the shelf, so stop by and take a look. Third, we get a lot of questions about how to donate books. And it can be a problem for us because we're a small committee. We have our guidelines now for donations on the website under Library Committee. So if you have books you don't want anymore, please consult those before you leave them here. The guidelines are also posted prominently in each library. And just a tip, we do not want wet books. Okay, you can feel no guilt for tossing wet books because wet books only spread mold. So please do that. If you have books to donate please follow the guidelines and sort them first. We cannot accept cookbooks, travel books, religious books, self-help books. Those are just a few categories. Or anything older than 10 years, simply because we don't have room. Please help us then by consulting the guidelines, and we will thank you.
Thank you. Lifestyles?
Hello, I'm Linda Vieira, Chairperson of the Lifestyle Advisory Committee. This is the wonderful Lifestyles magazine for June. I believe you should be getting the July one this weekend, if not before. This is the most wonderful resource for everything going on in Sun Lakes. This slick little magazine tells you what's going on in all the advisory committees, clubs and groups, what's happening and coming up in the lounge and restaurant, recreation department, golf course, delegate assembly, and master board. It gives you contact information for almost everything going on or available or coming up. Lifestyles began 20 years ago as a typewritten newsletter, and just look what it is today. It's what most residents turn to in order to find out what's going on in the community. It's 80-plus pages, includes articles from the Master Board, the Delegate Assembly, First Service, the restaurant, the Golf Pro, and all the advisory committees. Clubs and groups send articles and photos to sunlakesnews@yahoo.com by the 6th of each month. The Lifestyles Advisory Committee meets on the 7th of each month, unless otherwise specified, to review and edit the articles submitted for each month's issue of the magazine. To keep updated about events coming up in our community, we meet with Master Board member Lori Hazelton, Assistant General Manager Jason Ewalls, and Recreation Department Director Dario Puig. We publish want ads and for sale items at no cost from residents and hide a monthly joke for readers to find. We include paid ads from vendors who have served our residents well. And I like to say a thing about our publisher. If she receives a complaint about any of the vendors that are in the magazine, she follows it up like a tiger, so that every resident's desires are met. We also publish Friends We Will Miss, a special Did You Know section, and messages of gratitude and thankfulness from readers. Responses to our Get the Joke contest are put in a hat, and a winner is randomly drawn, earning a restaurant gift card as a prize. Photographs taken by residents of areas within Sun Lakes are used on the magazine cover. If you're good at proofreading and are interested in joining us, please fill out a volunteer application form that you can get in the main lobby. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is Marketing Committee.
You didn't start yet, did you? Good afternoon, Master Board, residents, FSR. My name is Michelle Walter, and yes, I'm on the Marketing Committee. We had our meeting, and we selected our officers. I am the chairperson. The vice chair is Dory Gartsky. Secretary is Greg Voiko. Treasurer is Bonnie Seaver. We also have Bob Murray on our committee. And our newest member that has not been installed yet or approved is going to be Jerry Blodgett. So we reviewed our charter and understand that we are an advisory committee only to the Master Board. Beverly Simmons is our liaison, and we did make a couple of changes to our charter that she's going to correct for us. We did a little brainstorming on what amenities our residents need and want. And I want to give you some stats. Bonnie Seaver is our treasurer, but she's also a real estate agent. And these are the stats for the home sales in Sun Lakes. 20 homes closed in June, 91 homes closed from January 1st to May 31st, 36 homes are pending as of 6/27, 31 homes are coming or active for sale as of 6/23. I'm going to give each of the board members a graph.
Show it on TV.
So there's a couple of graphs there. And the first one Oh, this is actually the second graph. The second graph shows the medium sales prices from 2000, oops, we went back to one. Okay, I'll take that one. That one first, yeah. The first one shows May medium sales prices from 2021 at $375,000 to 2022, a 6.6 increase to $399,750, and a 12.4 decrease in 2023 to $350,000. The second graph shows the medium sales prices from 2008 of about $325,000 to 2023 at $350,000. So each month, I'm going to bring the stats on the homes, sales of homes. This won't change again until we'll probably do another one at the end of the year. So I just wanted to let everybody know that that's what's going on. How much time do I have? I also want to tell you about our Welcome Home. We have our Welcome Home dinner on June 22nd from 5 to 7 in the main ballroom. 67 residents were invited and 54 showed. We had 12 clubs participate in bringing information and membership forms for the new residents. We also gave out new magnets with the important phone numbers for Sun Lakes. Our next Welcome Home will be Thursday, September 28th from 5 to 7 in the main ballroom. And if you are interested as a club or a group, please contact, I believe, the main receptionist, and she will put you down. We're only going to take about 12 at each time. I also wanted to mention just real quickly the delegates. If your residents don't show up, because I know we have a couple of delegates here, they don't show up, we still have to pay for their dinners. So it'd be a good idea if you would call them like a couple of days ahead of time and let them know, oh, by the way, we've got our Welcome Home. I'm hoping that you're going to be there. So that's all I have to say. And I also want to give this, these are the magnets.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Master Architectural Committee?
Thank you, board and staff and fellow residents. My 2 minutes and 56 seconds starts right now, Jason. David Keeley, Vice Chair of the Master Architectural Committee. Video surveillance cameras. You're not alone when you consider the importance of protecting your home. The Master Architectural Committee is experiencing a significant increase in the applications for the use of video surveillance cameras. As consistently reported, the job of the MAC is to follow the guidelines provided in the General Statement of Rules and Regulations here at Sun Lakes. They are listed on the Sun Lakes website, but perhaps it's easier to find in your telephone book. Thanks a lot to Jim Miller, who's a resident, and he shares in This Is My Backyard on the cover of the current telephone book. Immediately following the Z's, the names and the listing, you'll see the rules and regulations. Video surveillance is addressed on page 84 under 7.33 security cameras. The use of video surveillance cameras is permitted to deter acts of vandalism and potential criminal activity and increase the likelihood that perpetrators of these acts will be identified. Video recording surveillance camera installations must be in compliance with privacy laws governing the collection of personal information. Cameras and/or recording equipment may not impede upon the privacy of neighbors by having camera angles of shared driveway areas and/or adjacent structures, windows, back or side yards. Cameras may not be directed on community common area. For exterior installations, architectural plans must identify the number and location of cameras, location of areas each camera will monitor, including the range of scope in its required. Final note, the MAC follows guidelines that are consistent with the California Proposition 24 that was approved by California voters in November 2020, and it took effect on January 1st of 2023 this year. It covers the definition of personal information if it is collected and associated with an identifiable committee, with an identifiable individual, so they're providing protection legally. And finally, At the MAC meeting on June 27 this week, the committee acted on the request by the Master Board to develop a mission statement for our committee. So for the Master Committee, the following statement was approved. At the Master Architectural Committee, our mission is to enhance the aesthetics, quality, and value of our community by ensuring that architectural standards and guidelines are upheld with fairness, consistency, and consideration for the unique needs and desires of our residents. Thank you very much, and there's no questions coming.
Thank you. Procurement Advisory Committee? Bob? No report, sorry. They were dark this particular month. They were overseas. A great committee. They'll be reporting next month. Next is the Recreation Committee. RV Storage Advisory Committee. Who's supposed to report for Rick?
Good afternoon, Board and residents. My name is David Puckett, and I am the chairperson for the RV Storage Lot Committee. We had a committee meeting last week, and we discussed two important topics. First, we listened to a request from a homeowner to gain access to the RV lot on a permanent basis. The committee reviewed the request and forwarded our recommendation to the Master Board. Second, we developed and approved a committee mission statement for the RV storage lot and forwarded that to the Master Board for approval also. Finally, I'd like to report that the RV storage lot is 100% full. No vacant spots. This is the first time in 5 years that I've been on the committee that this has happened. So anyone needing a spot needs to go on our waiting list, and they would need to see McKenna in an administration office for that. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Restaurant and Lounge. Marcia?
Hello, I'm Marcia Midget with the Restaurant and Lounge Committee. The restaurant, lounge, sandwich, and veranda are amenities that many 55-plus communities do not have. It's so convenient to stay within our community and get a great meal in the restaurant or the sandwich, or enjoy the fellowship with friends and neighbors in the lounge or outdoors on the veranda. The restaurant and lounge operations is a separate line expense on the planned monthly expenses for the HOA. Did you know that $12.64, or 3.6% of your monthly $346 HOA dues, goes directly to offset the cost of running the daily operation of the restaurant and lounge? Because we are a private country club and not profit-based, we rely on our members to patronize the restaurant and lounge to stay within the monthly allocation of the $42,000 provided by your monthly dues. So, if each resident of the 3,327 homes visited the restaurant or lounge just one time a month, it would help immensely to keep the daily operations within the budget. The cost of food as well as the cost of labor are two big factors in managing the daily cost of running this wonderful amenity. A lot of places don't have it. It's a great place to go. So come and enjoy our beautiful restaurant and lounge and get to know your neighbors and enjoy our friendly staff at least once a month. With that said, have you been to the brunch on the last Sunday of the month? It is fantastic. The staff goes above and beyond to create a wonderful feast for us and our family and friends to enjoy. My sister was out this last week and we went to brunch. They were amazed at what was displayed and how good everything was. So you can build your own omelet, have some delicious prime rib and wonderful desserts along with many other dishes to fill your belly. The staff is so friendly. I could not believe it. It's great place to be and willing to help in any way. So if you've not tried the brunch, the price is very reasonable for an all-you-can-eat meal. For an additional cost, you can get champagne. It's good. So hope to see you there in July. And then also on July 4th, Chris talked about it earlier, so I wasn't going to go too far into that. So if we have an opening for another committee member to join us, you don't necessarily have to have restaurant and lounge experience, but it would be helpful. So if this is something you'd like to do, fill out an application to get the process started. And then lastly but not leastly, the Restaurant and Lounge Committee is open to suggestions and ideas about the day-to-day happenings in the food and beverage area. We look forward to hearing your ideas, and we'll work to get any suggestions we receive to the board for their consideration. You can actually email your suggestions to randlcommittee@gmail.com. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Safety Advisory Committee?
Hi, good afternoon, good evening. My name is Michael Voles. I'm chairman of the Safety Advisory Committee. Here to give a monthly report. Our security company, Securitas, is becoming more proactive at Sun Lakes, continuing to build better and stronger relationships with not only the district delegates, but with all residents. The goal is to respond promptly to incidents that are reported. There have been 2 recent incidents involving missing residents who suffer from dementia. Prompt response resulted in each case with a successful outcome. The individuals were located and returned safely to their homes. There continues to be issues with residents who use mobility scooters when entering through an exit gate or exiting through an entrance gate. This is very dangerous. For those residents who use mobility scooters, transponders can be obtained through administration. Also, pedestrians who enter and exit Sun Lakes must use the pedestrian gates. We have observed a decrease in loitering, vagrancy, and trespassing into and around Sun Lakes, even though the numbers continue to climb in the cities of Banning and Beaumont. Securitas continues to work with Banning Police Department to have trespassers removed from Sun Lakes when reported or observed through closed-circuit television, and patrol has been instructed to do more perimeter checks and make themselves more visible. We're very thankful that the Master Board has approved the purchase of 100 new and larger stop signs with reflective borders that makes them more visible. There's also 50 additional or new speed limit signs that'll be posted. Most of the new signs will be replacements of existing signs, but the Safety Advisory Committee will make recommendations to the Master Board for replacement of new signs on the main streets here in Sun Lakes. I think you will be pleased with the appearance of the new signs, and they will be effective at controlling traffic patterns and slowing down speeders. Banning Police Department has agreed to make random drive-throughs in Sun Lakes to increase the visibility and act as a deterrent to would-be trespassers. As always, report any suspicious activity first to 911, followed up with a call to our security team. So thank you, remain vigilant, and drive defensively.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your safety report earlier, too. Next is the consent agenda. So before we have a motion and a vote on that, does anyone like to withdraw anything from that consent agenda? No, then I'll have First Service read the consent agenda for us.
Thank you, Mr. President. On the consent agenda is a resolution to record lien dated June 5th on the following properties: account number 0105-01, 1317-01, 2834-01. That completes the items on the resolution to record lien.
Thank you. Need a motion on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda. It also includes minutes from April 26th and May 24th of the open sessions that we've approved.
Thank you for catching that.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next, board report, financial report for May. Our treasurer will be providing that. Gary?
I'm Gary Burkle, Sun Lake's treasurer. And this is the May report. This report is on the May financial statements. In May, we actually had a surplus, and we've had surpluses almost every month so far this year. So in May, we had a $7,504 surplus. That's actually, so what that means is our income for the month was greater than our expenses by $7,504. Year to date, we actually have a surplus of $377,799. I will point out, because I'm always a cautious person as an accountant, that the first part of the year tends to be the best time for Sun Lakes, because we get a lot of cash in when people pay their HOA for the full year, which many people in Sun Lakes actually do. And we also collect a lot of cash from golfers who pay their full membership for the year in the January or February. The reason, some of the reasons why we have a surplus, have to do with the weather, frankly, that we've had during the first quarter. We've had a lot of rain, so there has had to been less water usage on the golf course, obviously, and but the other major factor is that we've had significantly savings in labor costs. This has to do with management controlling labor costs, and the reason for the surplus is management controlling other costs of the HOA. Just an overview of our different cash positions. The operating fund has had an increase of $5,915 in May, and the cash position of the operating fund, again, I will point out the operating fund is the fund that deals with all day-to-day business activity. So it's the payment of all the bills. It involves the amenities, pays for the amenities we have for the golf course and for the restaurant and the lounge. The repair and replacement fund at the end of May had $11,837,000 in it, and it had a decrease for the month of $410,000. A lot of that had to do with the projects that you heard Mark Schladen talk about. This graphic shows the change in our bills versus cash in the operating fund. And this gets into areas of my concern. As you can see, at the end of March, which is the column on the left, we actually had more cash than bills. We had an excess of $149,000. In April, the bills went up, but the bills exceeded the cash by $74,000. And in May, the bills exceeded the cash by $118,000. As I have said in almost every treasurer's report I've given, I believe we're substantially underfunded in our operating account. The operating account has, the operating fund account, cash account, has decreased each year over the last 4 to 5 years. In things that I am aware of and statistics that I've seen, we should have at least 1 to 3 times our monthly expenses in cash in our operating account. So that would mean that we would need somewhere between $2 and $3 million as a reserve in our operating fund. I believe this is something that we will have to address in this coming budget season. and that's what I just talked about, so I won't talk about it again. This graphic shows, and this again is the operating fund, but it shows, and this is total assets versus total liabilities, and it starts with the end of 2017, and you can see that as the years have gone on, we've had substantial decrease in our net equity. That means assets less liabilities. And this, again, is the operating fund. It doesn't have anything to do with the repair and replacement fund or the capital fund, which obviously have surpluses. I am concerned about the surplus in the repair and replacement fund because we're scheduled to contribute $2.1 million in 2023 into the replacement fund, but our expenditures are scheduled to far exceed that. There will be over $3 million if everything that is planned to be spent is in fact spent. This next graphic shows that the different, basically departments of Sun Lakes. So HOA, first of all, obviously we all pay our monthly HOA, and that goes into a overall fund. And that fund is the top line here, which says HOA. And in May, we collected more. We had a surplus over what we spent for general activities. So maintenance expenses, common area, things of that nature, things that are other than business activities. So we actually had a surplus, and that is because of some of the cost savings that I mentioned before. So the HOA in May had a $182,000 surplus, and we have a year-to-date surplus, or let's just put it this way, income over expenses in HOA of $1,126,000. Then looking at the other departments, which all subtract from that amount, golf had a loss of $112,000 for May, and year-to-date has a loss of $379,000. But I would say that's positive in the sense that that's only 22% of their annual budget. So they are doing better in terms of how much of a loss they're having compared to what the budgeted loss is. So golf is doing well compared to what we budget for them. The restaurant, as everybody knows by now, or probably has heard, that the restaurant continues to have losses. And so far, year to date, the loss in the restaurant is $433,000, and the annual budget is $650,000 for the annual budget. So we're at 66% of the budget, but we're only 5 years into the month. 5 months into the year. So again, as I said, as you go down here, the lounge is actually had a surplus or a positive income over expenses in May of $18,749, and it's year-to-date $63,000. So that they're doing well, but they're not doing what is expected, because we actually expect annually to have a $146,000, so to speak, profit in the lounge, and we're only at 43% of that. So overall, the restaurant and lounge had a $62,000 loss in May. Year-to-date, the loss is $369,000, and the annual budget is $504,000. So obviously, unless a miracle happens, the restaurant and lounge will lose far more than we budgeted. I just wanted to cover some of the other major things that are going on in terms of money that will be spent or in the next year or so. some of which that Mark Schlagen talked about. But as you know, there's a lounge expansion that is being worked on, and that will come out of the Capital Improvement Fund. We still don't know the amount, but that's probably going to be the biggest expenditure this community has had as a single item project at least since I've been here. So some of the other things that are going on, and in some ways I'm pointing this out because the board deals with all this. And sometimes you don't recognize all the different things that the board has to manage. And some of these are just examples of, I mean, just today, we talked a lot about the lounge expansion and are putting together plans so that we can actually go out to bids to keep that project moving along. So, some other key numbers, like I've already mentioned, the cash in the operating fund is $849,000, but our current bills are $1,084,000. So we have receivables and of house accounts and past due. There's some people that are actually past due on their HOA bills. That amounts to around $650,000. Other things that are important when it comes to budget, the social membership fee, as you heard, the housing sales are down, and the social membership fee of $950 a month, a house that's sold, we budget for that, but that's under budget this year by $22,000. Gas bill is under budget by $37,000. Legal fees are under budget by $26,000. Bank fees are over budget by $15,000. As I've already said, labor is under budget, and fertilizer and chemicals are under budget by $48,500. Again, I want to reiterate what Don Day said. I'm obviously, as treasurer, appreciate the work of the FAC, and I encourage any community member that has an interest, and especially if you have a background in finance somehow or related to finance, please volunteer. We need your help. This is your community. It's a big business, relatively. It's not a public company or anything, but it's a big business, and you should take interest in the finances of our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Need a motion to review and file the financial report? Need a motion to review and file the financial report for May?
I move that we review and file the financial report.
I'll second. Any comments?
I have comments. I have some questions outstanding with management with regard to the financial statements. So until those are responded to, I would not approve the financial statements.
We're actually not approving it, we're reviewing it and filing it.
Yeah.
So we could do that and get your questions answered and then approve it, but we don't really ever approve the financials, do we?
No,
We
it's just a
review
review and file.
A call for a vote on this matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Passes 4-1. Next is the CC&R amendment. Board will update the community on the CC&R amendment that was previously approved on May 24th, and we're going to be making a change in reference to that.
Okay, I'd like to, well, first off, before I get into this, I just want to say I love seeing the positive energy in this room today. It's been a very, very good meeting. Might not be that way when it comes to public comments, but I love the energy. As many of you know, on May 24th, the Board of Directors voted to hold a special election to change the percentage of votes required for changes to the Sun Lakes Country Club CCNRs. Upon further reflection and discussion with the SLCC legal counsel, the board has rescinded the directive that was given to the management team. It was brought to the board's attention that to make this desired change, it would effectively remove the delegate assembly from the voting process. That was not something that was in our plan or desire. With this new information, the board felt it was not a prudent way for us to accomplish the desired goal. In addition, the board is currently investigating what is being referred to as a reserve replenishment fund. We have been consulting with a Coachella Valley attorney regarding a fee that would be collected from new homeowners that would be placed directly into the repair and replacement fund. This system is used in at least 20 HOAs out in the desert area. This fee, as may be proposed, would require that new homeowners pay a fee that would be equal to 6 months of our assessment fee directly to the repair and replacement fund. Currently, that amount would be $2,076 per new buyer. All current homeowners would be exempt from this fee. As an example, if we had 100 home sales in 2023, that would be $207,600 directly into the repair and replacement fund. As we heard earlier, we've sold 91 homes already this year, so we would be looking at probably between $300,000 and $400,000 directly into it that would not be affected through assessments. Got to find my spot here, sorry. With the additional income, it would be possible to lower the assessment amount related to the repair and replacement fund, or to divert to other necessary areas. This could also keep the monthly assessment static or possibly lower. The board may move forward with a special election for this CCNR change. Should the membership vote in favor of this change, we would then work with the attorney to implement as soon as possible. The board will keep the membership apprised of the status and progress as information becomes available, and at least one town hall would be held to give a detailed explanation to the community.
Thank you very much. Next is appointment, new member for the Restaurant Lounge Advisory Committee. We have a recommendation here to appoint Donna Harrington. I need a motion in reference to that.
I move to approve Donna Harrington as a new member of the Restaurant and Lounge Committee.
I'll second that. Any comments? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next, the Marketing Committee submitted a request to add an additional member to their advisory committee. I need a motion to appoint Jerry Blodgett to that committee.
I move to approve Jerry Blodgett for the Marketing Advisory Committee.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next, we have appointment of a delegate for District 20.
No, District 8.
Excuse me, District 8. The recommendation is to appoint Christian Gonzalez to the position of District 8 delegate. I need a motion in reference to that.
I move that we approve Christian Gonzalez as the new delegate for District 8.
I'll second that. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Now we can get to District 20. We have I need a motion in reference to the recommendation of appointing Kate Reed for District 20 delegate.
I move to approve the appointment of Kate Reed as the district delegate for 20.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Passes 5-0. Next, management received a request from Debbie Franklin, who asked for permission to conduct a Stuff the Bus event on our parking lot here for underprivileged children in Banning. The board has approved this event a couple years ago. They brought a trolley and residents filled it with school supplies. If the board approves, we'd like to hold another event here in July 21st or 22nd or 28th or 29th. I need a motion in reference to that request.
I move we approve.
I'll second that. Any comments from board or comments from membership? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next, the Garden Club has donated 6 benches to the association to be used in the common areas throughout Sun Lakes. They're now asking to replace the 2 benches in the front of the clubhouse. One of them has a broken leg. The club would handle all expenses. I need a motion in reference to that.
So move.
I'll second.
Any comments from the board or membership? All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0.
No, thank you.
Thank the Garden Club for everything they do for, for us and for the community. And thank all the clubs. We couldn't function without all our clubs and all our volunteers. So give yourself a big round of applause. Next is homeowner comments. Please keep the comments to under 3 minutes. First one is Ajit.
Chairman, Master Board members, and members of the administration, I am Ajit Desai, residing at 794 Torrey Pines Road. About a month ago, someone entered my patio, which is on the golf course, stole some items worth about $150 between 1 a.m. and 6 a.m. This happened on a Tuesday night. A neighbor on the same street was robbed of about $1,000 worth of tools from his truck. I reported this to Securitas and Banning Police, and also the administration. Lieutenant Jonathan Roman came to my house to take a report. The loss was small financially, but the fact that a robbery occurs in your home is very troubling. I think it is important for all concerned Sun Lakers to be aware of such incidents, so I posted this information on the 3 Facebook pages which serve Sun Lakes, New Sun Lakers, Sun Lake Peeps, and Sun Lake Friends and Neighbors. Many concerned Sun Lakers sympathized, expressed concern about security measures, and some were critical that the gates are kept open on Tuesdays because of bingo. I don't know if bingo is related, but I was frankly very surprised that I could not find any statistics on such crimes in Sun Lakes. If stats were available, then we could easily determine if the majority of these incidents occurred on Tuesday nights, implicating bingo, or vice versa, exonerating bingo. Of all concerns that Sun Lakers have regarding living here, security ranks amongst the top. So I called up Roman to request him for this information. He informed me that such incidents are recorded by Securitas and reported to the Master Board, but he could not provide me that information. I called up the administration for details on these reports and was informed that the Master Board does not publish any reports. Since security should be among the top priorities of the Master Board, I request the Master Board to publish these stats on a monthly basis together with appropriate analysis in our monthly Lifestyles magazine. Some questions that need to be answered are actual incidents, nature of incidents, frequency of incidents, which days do they occur, is there any seasonality to these, and most importantly, is there a trend? Is it going up that we should be worried about, or is it declining that we should feel safe about? Maybe the frequency is minuscule and this is not an issue. Then this is very good information that Sun Lakers will derive peace of mind. Maybe the frequency is higher than acceptable. Then such analysis will tell the Master Board what resources it should bring to bear to make Sun Lakes safer. So right now there is a vacuum of information. Master Board, I suggest take appropriate steps. I'm willing to help if you need any help. Thank you.
Thank you very much. This matter was discussed this morning, and First Service and the Securitas will be in contact with you. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Next is Jeannie Moyer.
Hello. This is my first time doing this. I'm Jeannie Moyer. I've lived here about 1.5 years, and I absolutely love it. My concern is about our wildlife. I live at 4974 Singing Hills. I live right on the 6th hole where our wildlife, coyotes, and our bobcats live. and they have been eating our animals. And I was here at bingo last night, and it was a wonderful thing, and we had a wonderful dinner provided. And I asked several people what their concerns were about what we can do, and if they had, what had happened to them. Well, several people, we have lost 3 dogs in 3 days. Last Saturday, a couple just moved in. And 3 days later, their dog was taken by a coyote. 3 days. They just got here. I can't even imagine. My dog is a medium-sized dog. His name is Oliver, and he loves everybody. But our wall, we have a discussion, him and I, about big dogs, and big dogs are coyotes. And so when he sees it, he starts crying. Well, he saw one, and I saw one, and I was as close as you and me. And I walked right up to that coyote with my horn, with my whistle, and I blew it as hard as I could, and he did not move. He did not move. They're not afraid of us. Now, one gentleman last night said his grandson, this man was babysitting his granddaughter, 4 years old. She had her dog with her. They were in the backyard of his backyard, and he doesn't have a wall. He has no golf course. He's inside. A coyote or a bobcat, he doesn't know which, jumped over and took her dog. He could have taken the little girl. And nobody, it's like, we need to do something. Then one of our gentlemen, elderly, was walking his dog on a leash and saw a coyote, and he started running, and he fell. And he broke his leg. What are we going to do? We need to do something to protect our animals. They have to go outside. They have to be, if we can just have the wildlife come and take them away and relocate them. I don't know. I used to be a boss, but if you give me a problem, give me a solution. Thank you for listening.
Thank you very much. Any other comments from audience?
Good afternoon, Master Board. Michelle Walter for Community Awareness. Jeannie, I understand what you're saying, and you can contact coyote.org. They're not going to come and remove them because it is wildlife and they're protected, and this is a preserve over here. So they're not going to come out here and take any of them. But just to give you that information, it's coyote.org. So I just wanted to let you know that our last meeting was a fire extinguisher use. And it was Tuesday, June 13th. It was about the different fires, fire extinguishers, how to put out a fire, how to use a fire extinguisher. So it was not a hands-on. And everybody asked, can we do a hands-on? Well, we're going to go through the master board and find out about doing a hands-on out in the out in the lobby. Yeah, we're going to do it in the lobby, out in the parking lot. And so it will be controlled, and Chris is the one that's going to be doing it for us, but it does have to be approved by the master board and making sure that we don't have any problems with it. Our next one is going to be homeless awareness. This is going to be a great program. I have a panel of experts coming to present the multifaceted challenges of the homeless. I have From Supervisor Gutierrez's office, he's not able to make it, but he's sending one of his assistants. It's the Homeless to Work program that Mr. Gutierrez actually started in Moreno Valley, and it's very, very successful. So we're going to try it out here also. I have Jeffrey Platt, who is the supervisor for Opportunity Village. He'll be here speaking about Opportunity Village. I'll have the Banning Police Department homeless liaison. I'm also going to have a mental health worker, Faith in Action, and of course, Director of Securitas, Mike Romero. So this is going to be very informative. You will be able to ask any of them questions. There will be a panel up here, and you can ask them questions. Again, I ask that when you do ask questions, you need to come to the mic, or we'll have a mic coming around to you, because it is a broadcast on Channel 97, and they need to hear you, what your question is, to our panel. So that's, oh, and then I do want to say that I did talk to Nate Smith yesterday at the city council meeting, and on 8/1, he's going to come out here and do a presentation. He is the Deputy Director of Public Works, and he's going to be doing the presentation of the revitalization for downtown. You'll be able to ask him any questions you want to ask. He's going to have a video presentation also, so please come to that one, and that's going to be in August. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next is director comments. Gary? Beverly?
I do have one little comment on the ongoing process with the dog park. As you know, the board did approve one dog park, assuming we can find a location. So the ad hoc is being brought back together to put together some questions and conversations to be had with everyone who will be affected in the areas where the dog parks are being considered. So some of the people on the ad hoc are coming back to help with that. Many are not, which means we're going to need some more people. We will go in pairs, probably, to ask the same questions of the neighbors there, so that we get answers that are apples to apples. We have some questions that we have already come up with. I know Joan Burke is going to be part of this. She was on the original ad hoc. She's going to continue with this. She's got some suggestions of things to talk with people about as we do this. We're really trying to do this in a way that we can keep all the information. We can write it down and keep it on file, so that in 5 years, if somebody wants to look at how we got to where we got to, all of that will be recorded. So we are getting ready to do that, and if you have any interest in helping out with that, please let me know, let Randy know. The two of us were the liaisons on the original ad hoc, and we will start getting everybody together so that we can go out and start asking those questions. I know this process is taking forever and a year, but we're really trying to make sure we do it as detailed as possible, so that everybody's questions get answered, everybody's concerns get addressed. So if you have any suggestions or ideas, please let me or Randy know, and if you want to help, we're ready to help. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Lori?
Hi, I'm Lori Hazelton. I'm the secretary of your board of directors, and I'd like to welcome you all here, and a special hello to those of you who are viewing from home. First of all, I'm looking very much forward to the July 7th poolside restaurant and lounge service. That's just a really fun thing to do, go there for lunch. And the next listening session will be Monday, July 3rd at 3:30 p.m. in the Sand Wedge. Next week, we will be installing the mirrors and the artwork here in the ballroom. And let's see, to finish, I just would like to wish you all a very, very wonderful 4th of July.
Thank you. Randy?
I just say, same thing about the 4th of July. We have the golf cart parade, and the board will be the judges this year, apparently. We were invited to do so anyway. Anyway, I want to thank all the committees, all the committee members, and everybody in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Well, summertime is here, and we can now enjoy our beautiful community. Remember, the golf course is for golfers. It's not for playing ball. It's not for playing games. It's not for walking your dogs where they can be subject to being attacked by wild animals or coyotes. So make sure you're following our rules here and that you're safe, so everybody can enjoy our amazing community. The swimming pool, no diapers. People are continuing to swim in the pool with diapers, children. And this is an issue that, you know, needs to be monitored and addressed. And remember, if you're in the pool, 2 o'clock, unless it's a holiday, you know, the children, you know, must leave at 2 o'clock. So remember to follow our rules and have a great time. One last thing I wanted to mention is that the board is, we're reviewing and renegotiating the contract with FSR. It's not an RFP, we're just renegotiating, you know, the contract. We have a professional consultant assisting us in that endeavor, Karen Conlon, and we're going to begin the negotiations on the 25th of July. It'll probably take a month or so to complete, but, you know, we've had the same contract for four and a half years, so we want to renegotiate it, update it, and see if we can get a better deal, better price, just continue to enhance our beautiful community here with the assistance of First Service Residential. Thank you very much. I need a motion to adjourn.
I always make a motion to adjourn. I move to adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second. Did anyone second that?
Yeah, meeting adjourned.